Ag Week Weather is sponsored by Bremer Bank. Connect with a banker today at bremer.com.
Well, these April showers bring May flowers. Here's John with our AgriWeather outlook.
As the month of April gradually turns toward May, we're seeing a little bit quieter weather patterns setting up across the United States and across the Great Plains. Quieter in terms of not so stormy, not so volatile. Not much snow to talk about, but not necessarily without rain. The rain coming through. There will be some thunderstorm periods over the next couple of weeks, mostly further south in the Midwest and in the mid-south part of the country. In the northern plains, we finally got a pretty good gentle soaking of rain, and there might be one or two more of those. And generally speaking, the weather setting up for at least the Corn Belt, Bean Belt into the Great Plains is mild, but not terribly hot. There are some hot temperatures down in Florida, down in parts of South Texas, going to stay fairly warm, but we're not seeing a lot of unusually warm weather at all. This is the polar jet stream right in here. It's got a little bit of ridging in the Great Plains to start off the week, a little bit of troughing in the east, but nothing terribly dramatic. The cold air is locked up around Hudson Bay and only in the high elevations along the spine of the Rocky Mountains, and the hot temperatures that I mentioned, just in the usual suspected areas. Fairly mild temperatures east of the Rocky Mountains, building out into the Canadian prairies, which is a typical feature of early spring. It tends to, snow goes away, and this area doesn't usually get as much snow, and it tends to warm up fairly quickly. The coldest temperatures, as usual in spring, are going to hover around Hudson Bay and the Canadian Maritimes, higher latitudes mostly. Cool weather lingering around the Great Lakes, which is just climatological. It tends to be a little slow to warm up in those areas. Toward the end of the week, a little bit of ridging and a little troughing in the west might briefly bring a surge of hot temperatures up into the central plains, and that may eventually set off another round of thunderstorms in the midsection of the country as well. As we move this ahead into the second week of the forecast period, starting to continue to see kind of a zonal or west to east flow. Subtropical jet stream, not particularly strong right now, not taking a big active role in this. Polar jet stream through the middle of the country, not looking particularly active at all. This is around the 1st of May. And this little secondary subarctic branch of the polar jet is not really doing anything. It's mostly hovering around Hudson Bay, and it can stay up there. It's beginning to look more like a late spring weather pattern. So in all of this, where is the precipitation? Looks like there will be another rain system early in this first week, moving out of the central plains. Later in the week, there'll be a line of rain and thunderstorms coming out of the mid-south and into the middle west. And the second week of the forecast period looks a little more active. I think we may see a few strong thunderstorms in the mid-south, southern part of the Midwest. Showers again for the northern plains, and not as much precipitation out west over the next couple of weeks.